Greetings, brave adventurers! My name is FoxyBard, and yeah, I know, I've had some health issues lately, and some other things. It's fine. It's fine. We're back. Hi, how you doing? I will ask for your forgiveness because I come bearing stories! Both of these have to do with defeating toxicity through the power of friendship, unity, good dice rolls? Probably all of the above in some extent, and the second of which is going to be a follow-up on possibly the most infamous set of tales on this channel. But without any further waffling about nothing, go ahead and grab a seat around the fire as we dig into these tales of role-playing. Now, both of our stories tonight do come from the FoxyBard subreddit. It's at reddit.com/r/FoxyBard, or you can find a link to it down in the video description. And our first story is by the user Gel the Pyro, and is entitled, How I Was Tricked into Siding with a Toxic GM. I'm not going to jump down their throat because this is a surprisingly easy thing to do with toxic people. That's half of what makes them so toxic, is they're able to convince you that they're not. Either way, let's see how it all turns out. Tale start. Hey, fan of your videos? Aw, thanks. And thought to show that, I'd give you a story. I hope you enjoy reading it, and I hope anyone else who finds this story enjoys it just as much. It's the best way to give back. I love hearing your stories and being able to narrate them for you. My former GM, let's call him Larry, had an amazing campaign I played for over a year. My favorite character I've played made it from Season 1 to the epic finale, and that just could not have been better. We became friends on Discord at the beginning of that campaign, which is where we held online sessions. There were no red flags of any kind. I later tried GMing Curse of Strahd for the group, and his character had this thing, preparing NPCs to fight Strahd by strangling them. I thought it made sense. Larry knew vampires bite necks, but the very first red flag, he only did it to young female NPCs and kept asking about their ages. He had great roleplay otherwise, so I ignored it. Congratulations, there's your red flag. Wow, that is... Woo! That's something that should get you on a watch list. I then, for the first time, played a female character at his table, and he asked for a Session 0. Amazing backstory incorporation, friendly NPCs, great character moments. Then he spent half the campaign with my 77-year-old elf being choked. And she was below adulthood for her race. Larry assures me he did this to everyone, and it was just to create danger a level 1 sorcerer could handle herself. I have already reached a level of discomfort I was not expecting, and we are only 4 paragraphs in. Oh boy. Others blew up at him for being a creep. Good, correct, they did the right thing, and I thought they were overreacting. Until I heard what he did in the session I missed. He choked 5 underage girls and nobody else. I am convinced the only reason Larry didn't choke the little girl in the Curse of Strahd campaign is because he never got a chance. I still loved that first campaign, but knowing who was running it tainted the experience, and I am now remembering a lot of female players leaving. They never blew up at him, but now I can't stop thinking Larry was choking their PCs. I have since left, and the rest who have left his formed a separate group, which I am now part of. I hope we have even greater adventures than that first campaign. ETA. I forgot to mention something, but when talking about the story last night, I realized something I should have mentioned. Larry asked me to build a character of school age. I also forgot to mention the time he tried to force me to play a cleric that had to be 100% loyal to my deity and wouldn't do anything they don't deem acceptable after I explained a distaste for religion. I won't go into detail, but I had a friend who became ill and wasn't allowed to go to school because his mom was Christian and she couldn't let her boys be exposed to the evils of vaccines and the theory of evolution. Why? Tail end. Oh, this story made me so uncomfortable on so many levels. I remember reading this and thinking, oh, I have to read this one. And then I took so long to record it that I just forgot what happened. And now here we are, where I'm just... Oh boy. Hey Larry. Please don't choke children. Please? Don't do that. That's not okay. I don't think that I should have to say that, but apparently I do. I'm glad you guys got out. I'm glad you guys formed your own group. You defeated his toxicity with the power of friendship, to go with the through line for this episode, I guess. Wow. Geez, and then the vaccine stuff. Alright, I'm gonna be perfectly clear here. Vaccines do not cause autism. Vaccines do not cause any issues unless you are one of a very, very small group of people who face severe medical reactions to vaccines and therefore cannot receive them. These are the only people who have an excuse to not get vaccinated. Which, hey, that actually includes me for a lot of the year because of my various health issues. So you refusing to get vaccinated is actually literally putting me at risk. So if you need someone you know to be affected by it, here you go. It's me. Right, that got a little too serious and too real life at the end there. Let's move on to the next story. The next story is by a wonderful person and someone who has become a dear friend, Paige of Maces, and it is titled Party Casts Cure Wounds. It's, you know what, I'm just gonna let them explain it more so than I can, and I'll have something to say at the end. Tale start. A while ago, my husband posted a story called Druid, Wolverine, and the Third Reich, which was turned into The Wolverine Saga by FoxyBard. Yes, you. Me? Aww. I'm writing this as a status update of what happened after. As my husband mentioned, we relocated and started to make a new life. I struggled for a long time after the end of our friendship with Wolverine and Druid, feeling very paranoid, scared, and afraid to make friends. This story is how I've managed to overcome many of those feelings. There was a listing in the FoxyBard Discord server, shameless plug, discord.gg/FoxyBard, go check it out, it's a lot of fun, we'll love you to be there, in the looking for groups section, where the party are trapped in a magical university that has been mysteriously teleported to the Astral Sea. That's the D&D version of basically outer space, if you didn't know. It sounded interesting, so I joined. I was a bit nervous meeting everyone, but in session 0 we created a party with a human rogue, Furbolg cleric, Tabaxi monk, satyr wizard, half-elf fighter, and halfling bard, me. I started out quite quiet, chiming in a little and apologizing if I talked too much. I'd also make a dumb mistake of not taking a damaging cantrip and picking the weapon I couldn't hit with, strength dumb stat. The rest of the party bore with me and helped me out with some equipment. We had a nice bonding moment early on, when we found a very comfy mattress to have a short rest. I won't go too much into detail, but some of the main highlights of the campaign were the party thinking Fighter was going crazy when he managed to spot an invisible monster that we couldn't, Cleric being the campaign MVP using the Twilight Sanctum ability and the Fairy Fire spell, giving Rogue perma advantage, Monk jumping into a basement with a hidden Mind Flayer in it. Oh no, did he live? Wizard's running gag of offering every NPC some of the random loot he had on him, and his ease at fireballing gifts. Oh, I guess this was Spelljammer. Cool. Or at least vaguely similar to Spelljammer. I played some Spelljammer for a while. It was completely unfinished. The module, not the campaign. The DM was great. They were awesome, but just Spelljammer itself is kind of unfinished and it sucks. Monk and Rogue stamping each other with a "Why do we have this?" stamp. An NPC goblin named Giblet, that tamed a mimic couch and used it as a mode of transport. I love that. I strapped a few bottles of acid and alchemist fire to a table, made it fly with a bard ability, and crashed it into a Gith ship. That would work. Yeah, that'd do it. The two best moments were finding the wizard responsible for stranding us in the astral sea. He was drunk and crying about how his experiment wasn't supposed to have done this. I'd been expecting a fight with a smug, evil wizard who'd done this deliberately. Him turning out to be a high-int, low-whiz, upper-class twit was just chef's kiss. Mwah. We took great pleasure in calling him out and stamping him with the stamp we found earlier. The other best moment started out of game and was the turning point in ending the Wolverine/Druid fear. Monk contacted me out of game to say that his character had developed feelings for my character. We were both playing female characters, and would I be okay with it? I had a think, and my bard thought that she could develop feelings for Monk. Within a few sessions, Bard had developed feelings for Monk during a tough battle where Monk was knocked unconscious. After the battle, they told each other how they felt and started dating. We had one final battle and session to go. The whole party made it out alive, and the magical university returned to the material plane. Monk and I decided that our characters would travel together and had a walk into the sunset moment. That's adorable and I love it. The same session that our characters got together, I felt a wound healing. Druid had been playing a Tabaxi monk, different subclass, and was my character's twin in the campaign when we stopped being friends. The whole campaign was smoothing away the hurt, and I told Monk that his reaching out that little more had sped up the healing. I'm now feeling much less stressed and scared, and I've started reaching out to various groups in my local area to make new friends. Wizards Player also helped. I'd been telling him about the server and about the Wolverine saga. Just him listening and understanding helped so much. I've thanked you, Foxy, a few times for reading our story on your channel and accepting us into your community. I still stand by my thanks. Because you and the RPG group I've joined, I've healed so much and managed to move on. I still have nightmares, but they are much easier to deal with and happen less frequently. The group I'm in are still playing together. We're currently playing Demon Hunters before plunging into more D&D. TLDR. TTRPGs played with the right people do so much good, and this was my little update on the good that it's done for me. Tail end, and there's actually a bit more, but this is my part of the story. So a while back, I got an itch in my bones that I really wanted to DM a game again, and so I started to prepare one. When thinking about who I should invite, I went to my patrons on Patreon first. I asked them before anyone else. And, well, Paige has been a patron of mine for a little while, actually. And so she wanted to join, and I absolutely accepted. I've wanted to give them a chance, along with their spouse, to have good games and enjoy the hobby again since I first told their story, and getting that chance has been a delight. They are incredible to know in person, and like I said, have become a dear friend, both them and their spouse. They are both playing in the game I started running, and they're having the best time. Paige here is playing a human oracle named Jemima Jessamine, who I adore. Jemima is sweet and a little bit nervous and doesn't think that much of herself, but is slowly starting to realize that she is worth a lot on her own. And it's been so great to just watch this character develop. And then their spouse, Core Ixion, if you remember from the Wolverine saga, has been playing a non-binary tiefling barbarian. But because we are playing Pathfinder 1st edition, this barbarian is weird. That's what they always are. They are playing a savage technologist, which allows them to combine strong sword attacks with guns. Their name is Renka, and they are very adept at what they like to call flirtimidation, and it's so much fun. I love having both of them. The game is unbelievably fun to run, and maybe I'll collect all the stories from it and tell it here at some point. Others in the game are my patrons, Darkfire Destiny, Zerolo, and Fractal Dawn, as well as one of my moderators on the server, and an old friend, Pastel. It's been awesome. I love this group. They are so good at engaging with all the lore and the world and the NPCs, because it's all homebrew, and they're having so much fun. I wouldn't trade this group for anything. And so, at long last, the aftermath of the Wolverine saga turned out to be something incredible for all of us. No, it's not Wolverine's fault. He was the problem, and he will continue to be the problem. But through good friends, community, and being kind to each other, you can heal. Anyone can heal. Thank you for listening. But that will be it for Foxy today. How's that for a first time back? Let's update the most infamous story I've ever told with just the most happy ending possible. Don't forget to like the video if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so, ring the bell notification icon and select all notifications if you'd like to be notified whenever I upload a new video, and leave me your comments down in the comments section below. You can also join the FoxyBard Discord, like I mentioned, at discord.gg/FoxyBard, and you can find this and other stories on the FoxyBard subreddit at reddit.com/r/FoxyBard. And hey, are you tired? Do you not have enough energy to get through these late night story sessions, or the GM just won't end the game? You need to go to sleep or get something to re-energize you. Well, lucky for you, I've partnered up with Dubby Energy Drink. I haven't actually tried them yet. I'm going to soon, so I can't tell you the quality. I'm not going to make assumptions on behalf of something I haven't tried. The reviews do seem pretty good though, and if you want to give it a try, you can go to dubby.gg and enter code FoxyBard at checkout for 10% off your entire order, or you can use my link in the description. Last but not least, huge shout out to my patrons over on patreon.com/FoxyBard. They are wonderful and amazing, and some of them have become very, very close friends at this point. I love and appreciate every single one of them to the ends of the earth, to the astral sea and beyond. Their names are scrolling up on the screen right now, and if you want to join that list of names, you can just go to discord.gg/FoxyBard and sign up for as little as $3 a month. Whew, but there you go. That's been a time. It's December. Oh wow, 2020 is almost over. It's actually almost my birthday. Ooh. Not important. For now though, let's just douse the fire and get back to our own adventures.